When I was in
Why?
theaters and I was watching Rogue One, I was like literally thinking, what the hell am I doing? Why am I subjecting myself to this drivel? There was
Hmm.
something about the tone that
Yeah.
just didn't sit right with me because I got exactly the kind of movie that Rogue One wanted to be. You know, get me wrong, I enjoyed the robot, I enjoyed Satoichi in it,
Yeah.
but there was something tonally off. Something with combining that kind of storytelling with
Hmm.
long, long ago in a galaxy far, far away. That something just in that combination didn't sit right with me.
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
Star Wars was always to me mythological storytelling. That's what Star Wars needs to be. And to me, this is where Kathleen Kennedy has gone the most wrong because I see what she's doing when she's like, she takes a very standard producer approach when she just tries to find, okay, let's find some really cool filmmakers with some really interesting voices that can put their own stamp on this
Hmm.
and do like their own thing with this. And I understand where she's coming from a producer point of view, but
Hmm.
I still feel that it's the wrong recipe to add to something like Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars is
Okay.
mythological storytelling, and the way to continue Star Wars is to continue with the mythological storytelling. I think they honestly
Hmm.
they're doing a mistake when they go and just find some different filmmakers to tell different things. What you need to do, in my point of view, and I could be wrong. I'm just saying,
Hmm.
and I'm not
It's
even a
your
big
opinion.
fan of
Yeah.
Star Wars. Yeah, it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
An
Yeah. I get
opinion
that.
as not even a big fan of Star Wars. I just
Yeah.
recognize this is what made Star Wars click. And so you shouldn't deviate too much from that. So what you want to do is look into world mythology and
Hmm.
continue with the mythological storytelling. Find other myths than the hero's journey, but other kind of tales that may be based on the hero's journey, but still the things that have reverberated through history, and you want to do
Hmm.
like a new take on those, and that is how you continue Star Wars. You do the mythological storytelling, you continue with that. So you take inspiration from Greek tragedies because that's mythological storytelling. You take inspiration from Norse mythology, from the Iceland saga, from the Vedic tales. Uh, those are the things you want to do Star Wars.
Hmm.
Whereas what they do here, yeah, I get that it has worked creatively, and more power to anyone who liked it, but I just feel it's the wrong approach to the property, to the spirit of what Star Wars is.
Interesting. I mean, look, I'm going to disagree
Of course, yeah, of
respectfully.
course, yeah.
I think I think there's definitely room for, and I really like Rogue One. So I will respectfully disagree because I think fundamentally it's a universe that is populated with, of course, the mythological aspect, but it's also populated with normies, and they have a story to tell as well. And you know, when those normies are the backbone of the rebellion, for instance, against the Empire, that story is actually quite a compelling one and quite an interesting one. You know, what caused normies to raise the hammer against their oppressor? What's the linchpin when they have no power at all? Because that's what they are. They're oppressed. You know, they're under the boot heel of the empire. What caused that? What was the jump off point for that? What was the impetus behind that that give them all conviction? And who organized it? Who grouped it together? That I think is a compelling thing, and I think there's room for that story,
I
and that
agree.
story is Andor,
I
and
agree, and
that's
you
why I've
also,
enjoyed it so much.
yeah. But that's also the story of Moses.
Yeah,
You can see you can do that story in
yeah, true.
mythological storytelling,
Yeah, yeah,
and
true,
in so
true.
doing, you would make it more Star Warsy.
No, see, no, I disagree. I think again, I just think it's what I to me it's one of those it's one of those things that it doesn't have. I see where you're coming from, but I don't think I think it becomes too homogenous if it's all the same kind of thing. I think if we compare it to like Marvel, for instance, right? So Marvel has done really well previous to Phase 4 because it took the concept of a comic book movie, which they all are, obviously, but then injected a different movie genre within a
Marvel is a
comic book
place where you
movie.
can do that. I agree with
But
that.
you could,
Marvel is the
but you could
perfect
do it
place.
with Star Wars.
You can do it with Star Wars, but you have a much greater chance of failing, which indeed
So,
they
so
have,
here's an
to the point
interesting.
where Andor apparently is good, but it's too little too late, and most people aren't checking into it for that reason. Because
Well,
they've
so
tried this whole approach and it's failed.
yeah, but so here's an interesting question though, because you like The Mandalorian, right?
Yeah, I do.
And me and you both really liked it, and I remember coming on your channel when everyone else was crapping on it. It was me and you against everyone else. We are like, no,
Yeah,
this is a really good show. Calm down.
yeah, yeah,
And we likened it to, it's a bit of a spaghetti western, right? Like
yeah.
it was a bit of a spaghetti western. But is that not the same kind of thing? That's not
No,
mythological.
it's
It's turned
yes,
into
it
it
is.
now.
It
It's
is.
turned into it
But
now,
that but
but
that's
wasn't.
where you're wrong, because what are the spaghetti westerns? The spaghetti westerns are in reality, they are Italian remakes of ancient Asian mythology.
Mm,
Yojimbo, that's the original story for a few dollars more, or the first Clint Eastwood thing, right? And what is
yeah.
that? That is mythological storytelling from, I'm not going to be able to say if it's from China, Japan,
Mm.
probably from that general region, but that is actually mythological storytelling. So it's mythological storytelling that has been remade and put into a Western wrapping by the Italians. That is
Mm.
what spaghetti westerns are. And that, I think, is part of the reason
Mm.
why it jived so well with the Star Wars universe. Because it does have like this mythological, timeless aspect to it. We will instantly equate it to spaghetti westerns because
But
that
isn't
is the iteration of that particular mythological story that we have been raised with. But
so
again,
I
these are
so
stories that go back thousands and thousands of years.
but then using that same logic, surely everyone can surely everyone can have a sense of tangibility over the the a force of nature like the empire and the normal person wanting to rise up against it. Surely it's a similar concept, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's a
It's all
story
in the execution.
as old as time itself, right? Like surely
Exactly.
that's mythological as well, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I agree, and that's why again. I'm not criticizing Andor, but I'm just saying that
Hmm.
what they have, and I think that aspect of it can work. I wasn't happy with how they did it in Rogue
I'd
One, but
love
that
you to
was
watch
me.
it. I'd love you to watch it so we can have a conversation about it from just to see whether you still think this once you've watched it. I'd be really curious. I'd be so
No, but it
curious.
could very well be that I will enjoy it
Mm,
immensely. I'm not saying that I won't. Again, I'm not saying anything bad
I
about
don't know. I don't know
Andor
where
because
that
I haven't
coin
seen
would
it.
land.
I just don't have the interest in it. Maybe
Yeah, no, I
I
see that.
will maybe I will like it every bit as much as I liked The Mandalorian. I see that you like it. To me, that's a fairly good sign that I might like it. Could very well
Mm,
be that I could. And again, this story right here, it's the story that they're doing is one that has reverberated throughout history as well in
mm,
world mythology. So they are on the right track there. Where they were on the dead wrong track was in Solo and the sequel trilogy. I mean that
yeah,
definitely didn't work. But this thing right here, like Mandalorian, that could be a return to form. So I,
yeah,
I will check it out, but I'll do it for when I have to, which is going to be for season two, which is the one leading right up to Rogue One, the movie. And who knows, maybe I
yeah.
will reassess Rogue One after having seen both seasons of Andor leading up to it.
Oh, that'll be interesting. This will be interesting. I
Yeah,
can't wait. I got to wait however long it is now for us to sort of chit chat about it. But I'll be keen. I'll be keen to see what you think.